Was there a specific cause of this disturbance?
No, something happened on Monday night in the Montpellier district of Cheltenham in which a disturbance occurred. This was cleared in the normal way by patrolling police on duty, but on the Tuesday night, the following night, gangs came into the town from outside and it appeared to be a continuance of the Monday night disturbance.
What sort of thing might have happened on Monday night?
It may have been just a row between rival gangs, probably a fight developed and someone got hurt. We really don't know.
When you get trouble like this, which spreads over a week, how does the thing develop?
Well, in our case, this started on the Monday night with a comparatively minor incident. But obviously someone got hurt, and on the Tuesday night, large gangs came into the town, and quite a serious disturbance took place. A number of people were arrested for being in possession of offensive weapons and for conduct likely to cause a breach of peace. We obviously got publicity over this, and this resulted on the Wednesday night and on the following nights in large numbers of people coming into the town merely to see what they could see. We then have three factions to deal with. First of all, we got the real troublemakers, the people who bring weapons of this type with them. It's quite a lawful use for this starting handle and wheel brace, but you can imagine the damage this will do when wielded as an offensive weapon. This is another one found at the scene, which is a piece of tube which has been flattened on one end and a piece of bicycle chain riveted to it. Again, a deadly offensive weapon. This is a piece of mild steel which has been fashioned with a handle at one end and sharpened to a point on the other. There is no other use for that except to be used as a stabbing instrument. At the other end of the scale, we've got the people who merely come in as spectators, have no intention whatever of getting involved, but of course they do hinder policemen who are carrying out a very difficult job. We've had during the past week a crocodile cars most evening going round the town with people merely seeing what they can see. In the middle we've got large numbers of teenagers who come into town because there's some excitement. The difficulty with these people is that normally they would not come in to cause trouble, but they can get involved. And trouble does start when teenagers form into large groups and they have to be broken up by the police.
When something like this happens, what sort of preparations do the police make, say towards the end of the week?
We've very definite policy in this force. We are a county force divided into divisions, and wherever this trouble shows itself, sufficient men are moved in from other divisions to adequately take care of it. We're quite determined that this will not be tolerated, this type of behaviour, and there is a definite policy that we will move in sufficient men to a trouble spot to deal with it as it should be dealt with.
All on motorbikes, and he jumped out of bed to see what it was. Then Mrs. Shankton the next morning was discussing it with Mrs. Churchward, and she was coming home.
Oh yes.
And she got caught on that Gordon lamp, you know, that roundabout.
Yes.
Oh, she was too terrified to move.
You live, in fact, in Lansdowne Road, don't you?
On Lippitt Road we live.
And this is where, in relation to the disturbance?
That's right. Oh, it was terrible. Well, the noise was bad enough for me.
Tell me, madam, how long have you lived in Cheltenham?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. You see, my boy was 7 when we came here, and he's about 40-something now. So
why did you come here in the first place?
Well, my stepmother came here for a holiday, and she praised the place so much that I thought I was in Gloucester. I had a sister in Gloucester. I was in Gloucester, and I thought, oh, would I come up and see Cheltenham, and I've been here ever since.
Do you think there's enough for teenagers to do in Cheltenham?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, there's lots of things.
What sort of facilities?
Well, I think there's, what I've read in the Echo, there's quite a lot of clubs run for them. And then Cheltenham's a lovely place. There's so much they could do. I mean, they can enjoy so much beautiful countryside around here. They're not like in the slums and things like that.
How long have you lived in Cheltenham, sir?
Well, since 1939.
Why did you come here in the first place?
To dodge the bombs in London.
What do you think of Cheltenham as a place?
Well, it's all right to retire in. It's quite a good place. You can retire here and pass away the time till you pass out. That's all is happening.
What do you think about the disturbances last week?
Well, I think there are a lot of layabouts, and they ought to have something better to do.
Well, then how would you solve the problem of disturbances?
Well, I don't know what to do. I should find them youth clubs and some activity keep them off the streets.
Do you think the teenagers in Cheltenham have got enough to do?
No, I don't. I should say not. I think they're too spoilt.
What would you do to stop these disturbances breaking out again?
I would bring the cat o' nine tails back.
What about you coming through? You come here and have a quick word. Were you involved in these disturbances at all last week?
No, but you see, I don't know what mods stand for. I'm a rocker, alright, but it's just that they goes round putting lipstick on their faces and God knows what their real pants is like.
Have you any idea how these punch-ups started last week?
Well, there's over, I think there's 10 mods beating up a rocker or something, and then they broke out, you know.
So this was the start of the fight. In fact, some mods got onto a rocker.
Yes, right.
Did you know this definitely?
Yes, it's definitely.
You think this is right? What about you? You said yes just then, that this is what happened. They just called you a mod spy over there.
Yeah.
How do you think this thing started last week?
Well, it was because one of the rockers got done over down the prom.
And so what did you do? What did the rockers
They
do?
went out to get them back.
And how many people always go out if you go off to do something like this?
In groups, all of us, a lot of us.
Do you think this is a good thing that you should do this?
Yeah.
Why?
It stops
Because it
them,
what?
doesn't
You
it?
say it's a good thing. It's a good thing because
We stop them.
it stops them going out. How long have you been a rocker?
About 4 years.
What does this business of rocker really stand for? You know, why do you classify yourselves into mods and rockers?
Well, it's just motorcyclists, really.
Yeah. Well, this is really the way it all starts.
Yeah.
What do you do when you get together, such as in a place like this? You talk about motorcycling and what?
Yeah, tour motorcycles, go for rides.
What sort of bike have you got yourself?
Norton Dominator.
Supposing that something, you know, what we've been hearing about a mod, a group of mods running over a rocker, what would you do? In other words, a group getting together and beating a rocker up.
Well, that's what happened last week.
This is definitely what happened, is it?
Yes, 2 of our lads got done over by about 12, 15 of them.
How long have you lived in Cheltenham?
Most of my life.
Well, what's the mod set up here?
Well, there's more greasers, really, but the mods that they are can sort any greaser out, any load of greaser outs that come along.
The greasers are rocker.
Yeah.
Well, what happened last week? Why did the
Well, we were all up
disturbances
here
start?
minding our own business. We don't cause any trouble. And then the greasers come up here and start causing trouble.
What sort of things do they do?
Oh, they just kick scooters and if there's anybody who's smaller than them, or if there's a smaller number than them, they'll start pushing them back because they're not, you know. If there's equal numbers, they're soft.
Do you deliberately sort of pick fights with the greasers? Or
No, they pick fights with us because that's all the intelligence they've got.
Let's come across to you. Why do you go around with mods?
Well, I prefer them.
Do you what?
I prefer them. I wouldn't like to be seen round with one of those scruffy lads.
Do you like them because they dress properly and all this
Yes.
sort of thing? Do you like being a mod?
Yeah, it's the greatest, isn't it?
Do you
It's the best, isn't
And
it?
do you like getting involved in punch-ups?
Well, I don't like getting involved, but you can't seem to help it. Hey,
I'm trying to turn you around there so they can see you, right? You don't like getting involved in
Well, you
punch-ups?
can't help it, can you? You know, they jump on you, so what you got to do? You've got to fight back, ain't you?
Do you, whole gangs of you, start roaming the streets or anything like that when something like this happens?
No, I can't say that, mate. My old man's listening.
Yes.
No, I don't, you know, but if they jump on you, see, you've got no option, you know.
How much
Get
of
in
this
there.
is fun to you?
It ain't fun at all, is it?
It's not fun to you at all?
No, of course it ain't. It's all very well as long as you're doing them, but one of these days they're going to do you, see, and that's a bit different, isn't it?
We've obviously got to prepare for the fact that some troublemakers may use this as an excuse. I don't think in the Rolling Stones themselves will call any real trouble. I anticipate that we should get more younger people in tonight, and of course we are taking preparations.
What sort of preparations are the police taking?
Well, I obviously can't disclose to you the details, but we have planned quite carefully with the management of the particular cinema where the Stones are appearing, and I think we've taken such action as will deal with anything that's likely to arise.